are live.
We're excited to.
Hello, everybody.
How's everyone doing?
This is crazy. We had absolutely no plans of making this, and we just got back from the gym. We haven't even had dinner, and the downloads have been crazy. We
Crazy
haven't even
intense.
synchronized our downloads yet. And Siman said, "You want to just go and make an Instagram video?" I said, "Let's just go make a YouTube video." So we haven't even prepared. We're literally decoding the downloads as they're coming in. And ever since we got back from Mount Shasta, the downloads have been intense on an all new level.
Yeah.
So we're excited to be live with you all. Amazing. Greg's mind, first time you're live. So, all right, we don't think this is going to be a very long video, but I feel
But it's going to be a very
be
exciting video.
very
because
potent, very
this is
potent.
like very current, the downloads that we've just received. And I wanted to talk about Mount Shasta on our last night. In our last video, we mentioned that Telosians began to work with us. And on the last night when we were waking up at 5 a.m., we literally felt like we were being worked on, but not in our regular sense where we're sleeping in our light bodies traveling in the astral dimension maybe we're in a mothership, or maybe are in another dimension, angels are working on us. So all these things happen on regular nights, but in the last night of Mount Shasta, what happened was that we literally felt like there was a cocoon around us, and we were being sent healing from a very close proximity by physical beings. And then later we were shown that the Telosians were literally, I'm going to get into who Telosians are for those who don't know.
We talked about all of this in the last
I
video,
know,
though.
but I just want to be clear quickly, because
Sure.
that's what forms
Sure.
the context of this
Sure.
video. So these underground beings, these are the original Lemurians who had already ascended in Lemuria in the past epoch of time. They were even prior, their civilization started even prior to Atlantis. So now they have moved underground. They've created their own 5D reality under Mount Shasta. And they work, when we went on a spiritual pilgrimage, we set the intentions to work with the spirits of the land, and they work with people who are on their soul's path, and they request healing. So what they did for us was they were literally 20 feet underneath our room, and they sent us specific downloads into our light body. At that time, we didn't know what these downloads are. We were just told that these are the templates for what's to come. And I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting.
Templates for the future, exactly.
Yeah, like what's to come in the months ahead, what's to come in the years ahead, because although we get a lot of guidance, but until this point, our galactic guides have never told us with clarity how from this point where we are today, we're going to shift into new Earth. And what is this new Earth? Like, are we all going in a spaceship to a new dimension? Or is it the same planet that's terraformed and recreated brand new? So all these questions are coming, all these answers are now coming in with more clarity. And also we're being shown the timelines of 2022. We're being shown the big picture. So 2012 to 2022 was a 10-year period where the timelines theme was the destruction and collapse of the 3D old matrix. Now we're being shown that 2022 is a turning point. It's kind of like a new chapter in the energy, in the galactic energy. And the new chapter's theme from 2022 to 2032 is going to be about building 5D new Earth. And what we're gonna start seeing on a massive scale. So I'm gonna fast forward into the future a bit and then come back to the present time to see how we get there. So what we're gonna see happening on a massive scale starting from 2022 onwards is a lot of starseeds who are currently dormant are going to become activated like 0 to 100, like very quickly, and they're going to start remembering all their data, all the data stored in their DNA. Their DNA strands are going to literally start activating at a very rapid pace, because the energies that are coming in now are specifically designed for the new breed of light workers. These new breeds are sleepers right now. They're all unconscious, because it's not time for them to activate their soul missions yet.
And I'm being told that many of you watching who may be very new in your awakening may fall into this category.
Exactly. Many of you watching are in this category.
So you're still in a very early stage of your awakening. And when he talks about the masses awakening, the sleepers awakening, it literally is being shown to me like all these really, really bright lights are on earth. They have no clue that they're star seeds. They have no clue yet about how grand the universe is. They somewhat know they have good hearts, they are kind people, they're compassionate people, but they haven't even activated. And boom, just like all these sleepers are right now sleeping, the time's coming for them to just be activated, just be turned on. And this is going to happen very, very quickly, literally, because they're just going to one day turn on. And remember our lawyer?
Yeah.
Even our lawyer, like the most mainstream,
we've seen so many examples
3D
like this.
Person is all of a sudden, he's saying things like, I'm also thinking of wrapping up my practice, and I'm also thinking of doing,
He's like, I've realized
going
there's
back
more
to
to
my
life than
roots.
just this 9 to 5 in this corporate cube. And,
Yes.
And what's happening right now is that so many people are being dislocated from their jobs. They're literally either being fired or being forced to quit because of these mandates. So what's going to happen is a lot of people will be free in the next few years to start soul searching. And when you have people sitting at home soul searching and looking for a new direction in life, guess what happens? This is all timed divinely. They're all going to start connecting with their soul's guidance, and they're all going to start being activated. And the imagery I'm getting right now is that of, the film Born Identity. That's one of our favorite spy films in 3D. So in Born Identity, when they have to call a hitman, whoever's in the area, they just call that person, they just page him, and then they send a picture of the person they want dead to the cell phone. This is a raw example. But anyway, so basically I'm being shown
the asset, someone is saying.
The asset, they're all sleeping, they're all like sleepers in their own apartment, and suddenly they wake up and they have their mission. So it may be a bad example because they're hitmen, but for light workers, I'm being shown the same trajectory.
I'm being shown the same
trajectory, that a lot of light workers are just sleepers in their cells right now. They're literally like disoriented. They're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know why I'm came here. I don't know what my soul path is.
I don't know why the fuck I'm
I don't even know what excites me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm coming, going, but I'm supposed to be here.
Exactly. So you all don't worry, because you all are about to be activated. And I'm also being shown that EldoRa and myself, we're activators. That's one of our gifts. So many light workers, we all have different gifts and abilities. So many light workers have the ability to activate others just by raising their own vibration and sharing their frequency. So our job is to give you the blueprints and activate you to your soul's mission. So when we're speaking to you, there's a lot of quantum interaction happening between our heart chakras. There's a lot of information being exchanged between our third eyes. And we are connecting not only in 3D through voice, but we're also connecting in the quantum levels, in the fifth dimensional frequencies. These are very subtle frequencies, but what's happening is our higher selves are interacting, and we're all creating a hive mind. And when we all come together like this and start remembering who we are, magical things begin to happen.
And we're all coming together by design. It's been planned. We have pre-planned these interactions. We've pre-planned these rendezvous. We're a massive soul group just coming together. And soul groups cannot be
We had
fake.
all agreed to meet in the earth plane. We literally, before departing from the soul plane, we said goodbye and see you on earth.
Oh.
And that was what we said to each other, because we're like those people jumping off the plane, and then we find each other mid-air, then we all create a chain link. That's what we're doing right now. So the 2022 energies are all about us finding each other again and awakening to remember that, oh my God, I didn't come here alone. I came with these These badasses.
Our times of being alone are over, my friends.
Yes,
Now is the
we're
time for us
all-
to unite.
We're all invincible when we unite. We are all invincible. We're invincible even on our own because we're superheroes. But when we come together, boy, oh boy, you have no idea. We're a force to reckon with.
And you know, while he says that, it just, you know how a few days ago on Facebook or whatever, I made a post on my Telegram group. I put a few pictures of Siman and I from our recent photo shoot. And I said, and I was just, whatever comes to mind, I type. I don't think, I just type whatever comes to mind and I post. Sometimes I don't even read it twice. And what I typed was that Siman and I are here on our soul mission, and we feel like we've raised the bar so much by anchoring such high levels of bliss and peace and joy and abundance. And we've come from the gutters, like we've come from the depths of hell. We've been in narcissistic relationships. We've been through abuse, emotional abuse in childhood. I've slept on the streets of Mumbai because I ran away from home when I was 18 because I was in a very abusive, emotionally abusive family where I couldn't breathe. I ran away from home. I slept on the streets. I changed my religion. Like I went through all the religious conditioning. We've been through it all. And where was I going with this?
About our training?
No. It was more about how we
went through all these hardships for a reason, right?
Yeah, we went through all these hardships. And oh yes, I was talking about how I made that post about we're a glitch in the matrix. Because the post was that we've cracked the code. We have cracked the code. It's not like we were just born with a silver spoon in our mouth and we've just been like this all the time. We've been in 3D. We've been in 3D jobs. We've been in 3D relationships. We've been through all the fake friendships. We've been through all the narcissism, and we've cracked free. We've broken free. We've cracked the code. And I asked my guys right after I made that post, I said, we've created a glitch in the matrix, because our guides always say to us, you guys are such badasses. You've created a massive glitch in the matrix. So I said, let's decode that.
Tell them about the timelines as well.
Hold on. Before I forget this one.
Yeah.
So I said, literally,
We've become a glitch in the matrix.
We've become a glitch in the matrix. And I said, guys, let's decode that. Let's actually talk about how we've been a glitch in the matrix. And Siman was sitting right next to me, and he says to me in the most serious voice, he says, okay, listen. You know how many people we're affecting positively, right? I said, yeah, because I wanted to decode it.
You're not allowed to impersonate me on YouTube.
He was like serious, and it is so serious. I'm like, yeah. He says, you know how many people we're influencing positively, right? I said, yeah. And then he says, all right, now think about them over the next 20 years and how many people they're going to influence.
Exactly.
That's how we fucking created such a massive glitch in the matrix, because we're not talking to just anybody. You know what he said? We're talking to the warriors of light. You guys are not just anybody.
You guys are the 144,000.
You guys belong to...
You just have forgotten who you are.
You guys are our soul family.
The earth will shake. So that's how powerful you
are.
are.
Our guides, so then he's like, that's how we've created a glitch in the matrix. And my friends, listen, we're all coming together. And we'll actually go, you talk about the next point and then I'll talk about the training, but it'll tie into it. You guys are here and you don't even know who you are yet. You're here to stir shit up. You guys are here to create history.
Your job is to create a new world.
Your jobs haven't even begun. Your jobs haven't even begun. So it's going to, and you are here to create a glitch in the matrix. And guess what? This has already happened. I'm speaking from the future right now. This has already happened. We've already created a glitch in the matrix. And you know what we're doing right now? We're sitting back and watching our own movie play. We're saying we already know what the end game is.
Exactly, we've already programmed it before we came.
And now we've already made it. Now let's enjoy the journey in getting there. Exactly. That's what you're being asked to do. Enjoy the journey getting there.
It's only when you forget who you are is when you fall into a timeline of despair. It's when you remember who you are is when you realize that you are such a powerful creator. You can climb out of any hole that you find yourself in. you have these magical abilities.
You're such a badass that you chose to be in the fucking hole because you know how powerful you are and you know how
Because
you can...
getting in the hole and getting out was part of your training.
Yes, it's cakewalk for you.
Exactly. And I told EldoRa that imagine each one of the, let's say we have 40,000 subscribers. Imagine each one of the 40,000 people who listen to our videos are a timeline. Now imagine how many dimensional ways we're affecting each one of you. We're activating your soul's plan. We're activating your soul's blueprint. We're downloading into you how we got here. We're downloading into you where we're going, and we're downloading into your soul's blueprint how to find your soul's path of highest excitement. Now, imagine those 40,000 timelines getting activated to their highest soul's blueprint, and imagine the trajectory that creates over the next 10 years. Forget that, even over the next 5 years. Imagine how many people's lives these 40,000 and expanding number is going to touch. Now, imagine that happening on a massive scale all over planet Earth with many spiritual circles. Because right now, the momentum of the light is pretty much insane. So a lot of you listening right now are going to be awakening to your training phase. So that's the main message that was coming through, and this was part of the message that was downloaded by the Tulosians about what's to come. And the main message that we wanted to deliver today was that many of you are just beginning the 7-year phase of your training now, okay? So we're gonna get into a little bit of how we were trained without ever having met a galactic. We were trained on the psychic realms. So many of you have to remember that you are in a training.
Yes.
You are in a training, and you also have to remember that your job is going to begin 7 years from now. Until then, it's all trial and error, so you can fuck shit up, you can make mistakes.
In fact, don't stop yourself from making mistakes.
Exactly.
Make mistakes, try
Make
new
mistakes.
things.
Never take life too seriously.
Yes.
But the main point being this: right now, you're just walking with the training wheels on, and you're reorienting. There's so much changing in your life right now that you literally don't even know who you are. You don't know who you are. You know who you've been told you are, but that's all shifting and rearranging within. It's like all the furniture is being moved. So you are going to be developing a new identity that's authentically more you. And you didn't even realize that you could be this exuberant and vibrant and joyful and feel youthful and feel so connected. All those gifts are going to zone in on you and activate to their fullest. So while this process is taking place, your main job is to cleanse your body, work on stabilizing your emotion. Don't be afraid of the darkness within. Be okay with expressing your anger and your dark emotions. Stabilize your boundaries. Find your purpose in life. Find your joy in life, and let the angels guide you. The angels are actually talking to you on a daily basis. You just have to start paying attention to the signs. So when we met, our soul's missions activated. When we met in 2014 or so, we were both married.
13. We met in 13.
We were both married. She was in a love marriage, and I in a 3D unconscious, but they were in love. And in my case,
they weren't in love. It was a loving relationship. Yeah. Huge difference. We weren't in love.
It was good by 3D standards.
It was a loving relationship versus his relationship, which was a very abusive relationship.
It was horrible. Narcissistic.
I never was in love till I met you.
Right, exactly. Same. We didn't even know what love was before we met each other.
So look, when we met, we were like, okay, my goodness, we're both married. We're both having this crazy, crazy, crazy attraction towards each other. We avoided each other like the plague for 3 months. And then we met up, and it was love. Like when we actually had our first kiss, which was what, 8 years ago, it was instant love. Like there was no courting, dating, trial. It was just love, like crazy love. We left our marriages very shortly after. It was very easy for him. Like in a month he walked out. For me, it took a year because I had I had a son and all those programming, like who's gonna take care of my ex-husband? Who's gonna take care of his parents? Who's gonna take care of, everybody, that's what we women do. We think about ourselves as mothers rather than lovers and wives and girlfriends. So anyway, 1 year, it took me a year. I finally got my courage. That was when I was just awakening. I was just experiencing a spiritual awakening at that time, very, very early stages. And I remember I left my marriage. I just got all the courage. One day, it happened very quickly. I just left. It was horrible. The way I had to leave was horrible, because when I told my ex-husband, he threatened to take a knife and stab me, and I had to call 911. And then 911 came. I know and they were about to arrest him. They came in a squad.
I was DJing that night, so she called me when I was DJing, and she's like, I've left my house. I had police cars outside, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect
Somebody
that to
said
happen.
it's glitching. Is the voice okay?
Yeah.
Be the shift. So anyway, we went through all the spiritual awakening and everything, and then we left our marriages. But little did we know the life that was ahead of us. Little did we know.
And tell them of the guidance I received early on when we met about the YouTube career and everything.
Everything. So anyway, that night the police came. I left. When the police came, they were going to arrest him and throw him in jail, and I had to beg them for an hour. I'm very good with words. So I said to them, I said, anyway, I made sure my ex-husband wasn't arrested, because he just threatened to stab me. And in Canada, that's like equivalent to stabbing someone. So never ever use such words if ever, you guys are in a fight. But anyway, then the first year was all about court cases, divorces. It was just really, 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 really 3D, really hard. I had a business that was horrible, like very profitable, but it was owned by a super mega narcissist.
Yeah.
And in that phase, we were just so madly in love that we would go through all of these toxic behaviors in our life and then come back to each other and create this space of heaven, even in that toxicity, even in that extreme trauma phase. We went, and then early on in our relationship, we started hearing messages. I was completely still like very new. And I had made up my mind that he's the spiritual one of the two of us. I'm like, he's the spiritual one. He's going to do all the work, and I'm just going to help him and support him quietly.
One day she used to pray like a couple times a day as a Muslim. And one day she came to me, she's like, baby, why don't I feel like praying anymore? And I'm like, okay.
You're ready.
Let me have the birds and the bees talk now.
He's like, you're ready.
So I explained
everything.
everything.
And I never ever prayed again. So I literally went through all of that when we first met. And then tell them how you started getting guidance.
So when we met, I started activating this voice started activating within me, and it's as clear as day. Like if I'm having a conversation with her, I can have a same voice, but it's inside my head with my guides. And I've been told that's because my channeling chakra's been developed at a very high level, and also because of some implants that I have in the back of my head, and she's also receiving those implants, which improves the quality of psychic communication intergalactically.
I'm still under construction.
Yeah. So I started receiving this voice. Back then I didn't have the implants. This was a bit later. But I started getting very clear channeling and guidance. And my guide said, you guys are going to be pillars of light in a community, and you will be healers, and you will heal many people. I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
We didn't know what pillar of light meant. I was like still Muslim. I'm like, pillar of light? What the hell is that? And they said, you're going to have a community and you'll be community leaders. And we're like, in the Muslim community, what the hell are we going to do? We don't even relate to them.
She literally started calling hospitals the next day to volunteer as a healer.
Because I was like, what is a healer?
We thought whatever I used to say, her job was to translate it into 3D action. So she already had the blueprint, although she was not even awake at that point. So basically, we activated each other like crazy. And our training was kind of like rough in the beginning, because it happened through some mistakes that we made as well. And we told about this in our psychic protection class, where we used to love going clubbing, right? And one day we overdosed on something my friend gave us.
Speed.
It was like
some crazy stuff,
right? So candid talk tonight.
Because listen, I was I was so suppressed as a child, so suppressed as a teenager, so suppressed in my Muslim family that finally when I met him, I was like, bring out the alcohol, bring out the marijuana, bring out the drugs, bring out everything. That's how we started our relationship.
Yeah, so
seriously.
so we were
For the
just having
first time
fun in
ever.
our dating days like some crazy kids.
We would go to
And
teenager bars.
we took this pill, and an hour went by, and both of us were dancing. I'm like, "Are you feeling anything?" She's like, "Nah." I'm like, "Fine, let's pop another one."
He said, let's pop another one.
I was like, "I'm not feeling anything."
And
right?
we were not
That
healers,
was the biggest
we were not
mistake I
awake.
ever made. That was the biggest mistake I ever made. Okay, so get this. Half an hour in, after the second one, we start tripping balls. It was like,
It was horrible.
okay.
Oh my
I
god.
was-
And I'm still
I
married
was
by,
hit
by
first.
then.
I
I'm
was-
still married.
I was hit first. I'm like, "Baby, you're not feeling this right
He was
now?"
like this,
I'm
he
like
was
freaking
shaking.
out. I'm like, "Baby, you're not feeling this?" And she said, "No."
I'm like, "No, I'm
She was
fine."
like having fun and dancing. She's like, she was like in the dancing like crazy mood. I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. We have to leave. We have to leave." Because my only concern at that point became her well-being. I was like, I know how to regulate myself, but this is like crazy. This is like too much, and when it hits her, it's going to go downhill very fast. So
And
I had
when
to
it
get
comes
us
to my needs, this guy is like alert.
I had to get us to a safe spot. So I don't know how, like we went through hell, but we actually managed to.
Get to a
managed to
hotel.
drive the car to a hotel and check in. And when she's lying in the bed, that's when it started hitting her real fast. It started, and she started freaking out. She's like, "I don't think my heart's beating anymore."
It was horrible.
It's like she was freaking
I was
out.
puking. It
I'm
was
like-
horrible.
I was
and
like-
I had never ever had alcohol or drugs, not even a cigarette
I
all
was
my
like
life.
2
so
seconds away from calling 911, but what happened was that my hands activated. My hands, my third eye was open fully because of the effects of the drug, but my hand, when I saw it, it became fire. Literally, like it became fire.
And you see,
And-
guys, at that point, we had no idea that our healing powers would, we didn't even know about healing. So we're giving you the story of how we got activated. It was like through a crazy night of drugs.
Yeah, don't do this at home.
Don't do what we did.
Yeah.
Learn from our mistakes.
Right. So my hands started getting on fire, and I'm like, "What the hell is this? Is this part of my hallucination?" But I knew deep within that I started also seeing sacred geometry for the first time.
That was
I'd
the
never
first time
seen
Metatron
sacred
came in.
geometry. I saw Metatron's cube in the air, like literally floating in front of me, and I started seeing that I'm being guided by Metatron to heal her. And I'm like, I started putting my hands on her chakras and configuring it, and then within half an hour, she started coming back to her senses.
I was
and
super skeptical. I'm like, what are you
she
doing?
had no clue what I was doing.
I didn't even know anything about
She
energy
thought-
healing.
After half an hour, she starts feeling better, and she's like, "Oh, I think the drugs are wearing off. I don't think you actually did anything." And I'm like, "Really?" And I said, "Let me put my hand in front of your eyes." And I brought it this close, and she was like, "Whoa!"
Because it was like
She
fire.
couldn't take it. She couldn't take it. The light was too intense. And that was my first experience with shamanism, traveling to another dimension in a very wrong way, and B, with energy healing. And both those, that activated both those abilities in a very strong way.
And that's how I became a believer. See, until then, that's why I'm so sure of what I speak about. It's because I've seen miracles. I've been through miracles. Nobody taught us
angels
this
save us.
through a YouTube video. We
Exactly.
literally learned everything just whatever by fluke. We learned all of this, and the galactics trained us directly.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So after that, we got guidance that we're gonna start hosting mushroom ceremonies in Toronto. So we did that for a while. We started holding sacred medicine ceremonies, and that went really well. Like we literally saw angels coming into these healings, and they taught us everything. They taught us movements. Like angels would like take over my body and literally teach me specific ways to move hands and move for healing and change the patterns of energy within others in order to heal them and to also give them upgrades and activations. They taught me literally, I was guided to go to trainings where I learned how to remove implants and I received like a very advanced knowledge about the higher chakras, lower chakras, implant removals, past life, all kinds of stuff. And the kinds of miracles that we started seeing in these medicine ceremonies, one guy came in colorblind. And the next day he said, I'm walking in the park and I'm seeing colors for the first time. This was just one example. We've seen crazy, crazy stuff happen in these ceremonies. Like literally, you won't believe it. You'll have to see it, is the kind of theme.
And then 2 years into the ceremony, or a year and a half in, it was thriving. Like there was always, our ceremonies were full. We did it in our basement, in our home. Magic, like, I don't know of magic like that. Literally, it's like magic.
We've also seen like Markaba ships appear in the sky while we were like lying on our deck at like 4 a.m. We've seen ships send us activations. And,
now get this, too, when we were a year and a half in, we got guidance. I'm just thinking about this as he's speaking, saying stop it now. You don't need to do any more mushroom ceremonies. That's how much we listen to our guidance. And we're thinking, what? Like we both got the same message, stop. So imagine you have this thriving community and your mushroom ceremonies are full and they're full of crazy miracles and you get guidance saying stop. So we said we don't mind stopping because it was very strong guidance, but we tuned into why. And they said your time with it is done. And right now there's a bit of jealousy in the Toronto spiritual community about you guys. And we don't want them to come in and sneak into this sacred space because something was going on in the astral realms which we don't know. But this is how exciting it gets. When we were told to stop, we had no idea. We thought, did we do something wrong? And our guide said, no, just stop. But you see why this relates back to what he said about you guys being in training. We didn't even know that we were in training for the roles of ascension guides that we were born to play today.
Exactly.
We weren't even aware of it.
Yeah, and the message circling back to you guys is that you are all starting your training now. So please don't do what we did, all the crazy stuff, but listen to your inner voice and start to tune into that inner guidance because it's going to be very subtle and it's going to nudge you in the right ways to, like one nudge could be go to a yoga retreat, or it could be pick up that book, or it could be enroll in this course, or it could be anything. Just open your mind to the universe and start communicating with your higher self more. Many people think they're not even worthy to communicate with their higher self. They think it's only an honor that's reserved for special elite psychics. That's not the case. In New Earth, within a decade, all of us are going to be fully activated psychically and all of us are going to be talking to our higher self. So why not start now? You can start communicating even though the communication will seem one way at first, that you're asking questions, but the answers will be presented to you in ways you cannot even imagine. Like you'll pick up a book and the answer will be flashing in front of you, or you'll listen to it on a radio driving home. Like
there was a girl whose dog passed away and she couldn't speak to her guides. And she literally the next day, she was like, I wonder if how my dog's doing. He passed away yesterday. And the next day she saw the exact breed of her dog with another dog, like a female. And both of them were just frolicking around in Toronto. And that was her guides giving her confirmation that her dog transitioned beautifully and is in a much higher place. So your guides are constantly talking to you, maybe not in the form that you think, like it's not like a voice saying, hello there. It's not like that. That's not how guidance comes in. Guidance comes in any form. You just
But
need
it's usually very subtle. So you have to pay attention to it because your guides don't push you. They just suggest.
Yes.
They watch for you to take the guidance. You have to show enthusiasm. Otherwise, they're not going to push it on you. So also, wanted to go more into 2022 to 2032. The other part of the download we were getting from the Telosians is that we are now going to shift into the phase of rebuilding New Earth. And this is a very exciting period because we're already seeing the 3D matrix crumbling and most people think that's all that's happening. But there are also a lot of good things happening on the planet right now which no news station is covering. And that is that we are having the most massive shift in consciousness ever recorded in human history. humanity is uniting on a single cause. And for the first time, all the races of planet Earth have united for a single cause to find a better future for generations to come, find a way of living in peace and harmony with each other. And this creates massive, massive opportunities for the light workers, because the light workers are going to be in the most demand in this rebuilding phase, because we're the oracles, we're the psychics, we're the visionaries, we're the ones who get direct messages from source. Not every member of the human race will be able to achieve what we are achieving, because literally it takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of effort. You have to train your psychic senses day in, day out. You have to cleanse your body, you have to live intentionally, you have to let go of your addictions and bad behaviors. You can still enjoy life, but you have to, it's like
balance.
being an Olympic athlete. You have to train day in and day out and keep raising your bar. Like ascension doesn't mean you reach a certain level and then you're cruising. You're always rising higher. There is no destination, there's just the journey. So you guys are now training for what's to come in 2027 to 2032. Because by then the new Earth will more or less have been solidified. Many massive shifts will have taken place on Earth. Geographical, weather, many continents will have shifted. And most of 3D societies will have collapsed by then. And coming to present day, to how we get there, basically what we're being shown is that many souls have made the decision to depart at this time as part of the shift. And the main reason being that they're simply souls on planet Earth that are not able to withstand the energies, that are not able to withstand the intensity of the 5D energies that are going to be coming in over the next few months and the next few years. It's going to keep on getting more and more. So there are many soul contracts for people to depart at this point.
And that is why right now the guides are constantly talking about this. So we only get guidance for what's pertinent for the collective. And right now all the messages coming in are around this. So I'm putting 2 and 2 together, and I'm assuming that the guides want us to relate to everyone watching, to shift your perspective, your perception on death, the concept of death. And when you look at, when you just lose all the distractions from this 3D and you go out to a soul level, like imagine your soul is literally watching, perched over, you know, the galactic sun, and is looking at Earth far away, and you're having this little existence here. You'll start realizing that what's happening right now is happening on a planetary scale, and what's happening here on Earth is affecting the whole universe. It's larger than large, it's larger than life, but we on Earth are so used to this concept of life and death that I feel like the guides are wanting us to prepare you guys that death is simply a continuation.
It's a transition.
It's a transition, literally, like what? Okay, so when you die, you're still the same person, you still have the same personality, you've just returned to God's source. So you're literally, you have the same consciousness, and you're like, oh shit, I just died. But you still have that awareness, because that person who says, oh shit, I'm dead, or oh, I'm back with the divine, or oh wow, I was just in a car accident and now I've transitioned. That awareness is still you. So what the guides are asking us to prepare all of you, because this is the same theme coming in, is that in 2022, it seems like, based on what we're seeing right now in the timelines, and this is coming in very strong, we're seeing that there's going to be a massive
surge of souls departing, right?
I love how you said that. A massive surge of souls departing Earth. What we were shown, and guidance does not come in numbers very clearly, what we were shown is that 3 to 4 billion people, let's say, are vaccinated, are jabbed. 1 billion of those have received the real deadly one. They've received the one that causes the damage.
And the others have received the placebo.
Right? So,
and don't quote us on these numbers. These are just like general guidelines that we're
numbers, guides don't speak in numbers, but it's just more like impressions. So we're putting together numbers for you, but
we're
you guys
putting
can
forth our best guess. Our
Yes.
guess is as good as yours, let's say.
So what they're saying is, let's say 3 to 4 billion have got the shot, and then let's say 1 billion have got the deadly one. we're being shown that 50% of the 1 billion, so about 500 million, are actually the background actors. They're just, many of you know the concept of background actors. We've covered it lightly in a few videos ago. And for those of you who are watching and who are going, what? This is getting crazier and crazier and crazier. I promise you, 2 years ago when I talked about many of the things you know today, many people thought I was crazy. Many people, when I first introduced these concepts sitting in front of the pyramid in Cairo, like a year and a half ago, March 2020, people thought it was crazy.
Back then, when we would say the queen is a reptilian, it would be like, oh my God, what is she saying?
Yeah, let's unsubscribe from their channel. So I just ask you to keep an open perspective and take what resonates, discard what doesn't. And the way consciousness works is as you keep an open mind, you start realizing more and more and more and more and more, and then new pieces start coming in, new keys start getting unlocked. So where are we going with this? Oh yes, so 2022, what we're being shown is that half of this 1 billion who've got the deadly one are the background actors, and when they depart, it's not really going to create a ripple on the planet. Like their loss won't be felt. They're just background actors. The other half, which is 500 million, all have soul contracts saying, and this is what was shown to me just a few minutes before we started this video. I was shown that these 500 million or so 500 million of people who will depart in 2022, March is what we're being shown, they have a soul contract because listen, when they come to Earth, they get to choose. They get to choose, all right, we have a few Earth lessons left. We don't want to spend like too much time on Earth because when it gets too much into 5D frequencies, it's too hard for us to live in those frequencies. It's too hard for us to operate in those high frequencies. So we have a soul contract that we'll go to Earth. We'll just spend time until, let's say, 2022, whatever years that may be of their life. And then we will depart, but we will depart and help the light, because our departing, our death will be part of this planetary revolution or revelation of what the dark, like all this dark, this light, and the actual consequences of what will happen if they're allowed to play out their game.
Yeah, and also we're being shown that a lot of light workers are also departing. And the reason for that is many people are now ascending. Many light workers came here to assist with the shift, but they no longer want to continue for future incarnations. And they will either have natural deaths or premature. There's no such thing as premature, but I mean in a young age. But their soul contracts with Earth are expiring and they want to move on to higher planes of existence. So many light workers will be leaving Earth, and we're being shown that from a population of 8 billion, give or take, there's some background actors and whatnot. But when all said and done, New Earth will be hosting about 1 billion to 1.5 billion, and eventually it'll normalize to maybe 2-3 billion in the long term.
But baby, go into how that will affect the planet, like when the 500,
yeah.
the
So
half a billion leave.
when these souls depart, this is also their unconditional love. This is also their parting gift to humanity, to give us the wake-up call that we need. And the wake-up call will be felt throughout the world. And many people who are in denial right now will not be in denial as of March 2022. Because the whole scenery and the landscape will have changed. And again, our guides never give us firm dates or deadlines, so don't quote us on any dates or numbers. We're giving you our best guess. Guidance just comes in kind of like big data. It's like the big picture. It's not specific, okay? And also timelines are subject to change. We're projecting into the future based on what we know today. Every single day, based on free will, new timelines are interweaving and new timelines are being introduced, and plans are also changing. So the galactics never say this will happen by that future date. They always take it in the now moment, because the now moment is the quantum equation that's being balanced by the free will of 8 billion souls. So we're constantly, timelines are being changed and shifted. That's the key concept here. So let's just say this is for discussion purpose only, for entertainment purpose only. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so let's say these souls depart, and it creates the wake-up call, and a ripple effect is felt by the rest of the population of, holy shit, like those tinfoil hatters weren't kidding, right? That's the wake-up call that the population needs, and they're only going to get that when they see something drastic happen. So we see that until 23, 24, there'll still be some resistance, but it will begin to dwindle. And by resistance, I mean people will go into cognitive dissonance. They will literally say, hey, I'm getting my 5th jab and I'm going back to work tomorrow.
You know why
I don't care
that
what
is?
else is happening outside, that's all bullshit.
Yes, you know why that is? Because cognitive dissonance is a condition when the truth is too much for that person's consciousness to bear. When the truth is too much for that person's consciousness to bear, what happens is they go into a self-preserving mechanism, which is called cognitive dissonance, where they say, okay, that sounds ridiculous. I'm going deeper and deeper into the false matrix. I'm going to go deeper and deeper into the inverted
Because
matrix.
their souls are afraid. They don't want to let go of the only thing they know all their lives. And they want to hold on to it dearly until it literally crumbles from within their hands. So they're going to hold on to this 3D matrix for a while, but we don't see that too prolonged. Maybe a couple years more, but all these the 3D societies will be crumbling. But what I said about the good news emerging out of all this chaos that we're seeing is that a lot of star seeds are now beginning to get activated and trained. The previous batch, like us, the ones who were awakened in 2012 or more or less, are now in service to humanity. But a much bigger batch is currently brewing. You can say the kernels are ready to pop right any moment.
And that is why, you know, the lingo that we are all speaking, that we use, the 5th dimensional lingo, the language that we have, we were shown, Siman and I, yesterday, that this is going to become mainstream. You know how we're the minority? We're going to be the only
like everybody's
reality.
going to be talking about quantum science. Everybody's going to be talking about free energy. Everybody's going to be talking about med beds and quantum healings and
ascended masters and
reverse
angels.
aging, all kinds of stuff. So the ones who are ahead of the game right now, like you guys, you're going to be in the hot seat. So you need to start figuring out, and I don't mean to suggest to get into any kind of predetermined notion of what your role needs to look like, because 5D is completely
fluid.
Yeah, it's so out of the box that you cannot even imagine it. So
in fact, the more fluid you are, the better.
If you think in a 3D way, you would think I can either become a Reiki healer, or I can be a tarot reader, or I can be a psychic, or I can be this, and this.
And
because that's what 3D does. It boxes you in, and
Right.
you can't grow past that. But what we're suggesting to you is keeping your mind open to new possibilities and new quantum realities that have not even been created. New markets, new products, new inventions, new ways of doing things, new ways of coaching, new ways of introducing ideas, new ways of learning, new ways of teaching. Expand your mind, because you guys bring with you the knowledge of the entire universe. You have experience on so many planets that it would be a disservice to you to tell you that you can either do A, B, or C. You guys are the shift creators. So you are so out of the box that you dismantle the box altogether.
And don't be scared to try. Don't be scared to try. One of the things
Try
that
new things.
I feel I didn't do enough, like when I was awakening, I didn't experiment enough. I didn't really take any courses. I had so much time, but I was too involved.
Sometimes even courses can box you in.
Yeah, in a way, I feel like I didn't box myself in, but at the same time, I think, oh my God, like when I first awoke, there was so many things I could have done. Just like many of you are probably thinking, but I sometimes feel like right now my hands are so full, but back then I had a lot more time. So don't be scared to experiment, and I'll tell you why. If something is not in alignment, it won't even happen, it'll fall away. But if you do something, let's say you take a course or you go on a retreat or whatever you end up doing, you may go with the intention of becoming a healer, but maybe healer is not even your path. Like maybe healing path is not even yours.
Maybe you could be an architect who reinvents how to create bricks out of hemp.
And maybe you go to this event or whatever to meet someone that is an instrumental part of your future. So don't be scared to constantly try out new things. Even if you spend a bit of money and it doesn't work out, or you try something and it doesn't work out, be open. 5D is all about all these quantum moving parts, constantly moving. It's like a juggle, it's constantly moving. It's not like 3D saying you do this, you become a lawyer, then you go and you make this much money. It's not like that.
linear at all.
It's
and the way to
constantly
zone
moving.
into your soul's path is to follow your highest excitement, no matter what that is. It could, your mind cannot comprehend how you will make money doing that thing, but if it excites you, then that's the gift you bring to humanity. And if you pursue it till the end, then the universe will show you a way of how this will contribute to society and make the world a better place. And your gift to humanity will affect millions, no matter what it is, because you are directly channeling source, whether you're a painter, whether you just create things out of, you create architecture or art, like 3D art, or anything that you have to offer is something that can benefit humanity. So don't box yourself into thinking in the traditional ways.
In fact, I'm getting the opposite. Every single skill that you have, every single skill, and right now, Anna, you're coming to my mind. I don't know if you're watching. Anna is a school teacher who teaches English in Costa Rica. I'm literally being shown this right now. Now, Anna is in Costa Rica. She speaks Spanish and English. She's an English school teacher in a 3D school. And she literally has her resignation letter ready so that if they force the shots or whatever, she's going to quit. And I've always said to Anna, I see that you're very good at English. She has a very strong hold on the English language. I also see that she's very smart. She's very intellectually smart. She's a multitasker. She knows how to get shit done. Many light workers are not like that. Many light workers are procrastinators. They don't have clarity. They don't know where they're going. Most of the people that we've seen are more like that. Anna is the opposite. She may have trouble that many of the regular light workers, like who are spacey and whatnot, they're more in the flow, but Anna might be less in the flow. What I'm trying to say is that she has her set of skills. She has her set of strengths. And somebody like that could be a teacher tomorrow at the Melchizedek Rose Mystery School. Anna, I've always looked at you and I've said there's something very big that we're going to be doing with Anna. I've always just known that at the back of my mind. I don't know what it is, but the point here is that if you have a strength, even if you're working in a 3D school, but you're an English teacher and you're really good at teaching, who knows what that role might be in New Earth. So there's no coincidence, there's no accidents. Every single one of you right now is doing, even if you're gardening, even if whatever you're doing in life, or whatever synchronicities the universe is bringing to you, is exactly where you're meant to be, the exact relationships you need right now to help you for what's coming. Let's say you're supposed to be a spiritual counselor 7 years from now, and you don't know how narcissists work. You don't know how to stand in your power. How are you going to activate your role 7 years from now? So right now you may be in a horrible relationship. Right now your sons and daughters might be bullying you. And the journey for you is to learn how to come out of it. So tomorrow when you get activated to your soul's path, let's say it's a spiritual counselor, you know how to crack the code. Because you can't teach, I couldn't be teaching you all this if I studied all this in a textbook. Siman and I have cracked the code from inside. We've exited the matrix from inside. You can't cheat this. You can't pay money and buy it. So once you do that, you become unbreakable. And that's the training you guys are getting right now. Nothing that is happening in your life right now is a coincidence. That's a very big part of the download we received.
Yeah, and another download that I'm receiving related to what you just said is that by following the path of your highest joy, you are creating 5D New Earth. Okay, so let's break that down.
I'll be right back.
By you zoning into what it is you love to do, what it is that excites you the most, that's the gift you bring into New Earth. And in New Earth, there's no currency, there's no money, there's no, everyone just brings their gifts and shares them with society. And we're all contributing in our own unique way, whatever that might be. So when we truly learn how to zone into our highest joy, there'll be one thing that keep trying. If you haven't figured out what really lights you on fire, keep trying different things. It just means you want to have many experiences before you zone into what lights you on fire. That's what life is all about. It's like a constant journey of exploration. So in the beginning, you keep trying this and that, and the most radical out of the box ideas that come to you, you keep trying new things. And then you'll, through all the experiences that you have garnered over the years, you'll start seeing a pattern. You'll start seeing threads start beginning to weave, and this all happens over 7-year cycles. So it's not. So take your time, because in 5D, life moves slower. You go with the flow of time rather than letting time dictate you. In 3D, it's very much like 9 to 5. You have to get this done. But in 5D, it's more like you go with the seasons, you go with the rhythms, and you cultivate ideas. You cultivate deliberate practices over time, and you fine-tune your art, and you add new elements from here and there, and then you create something new. So many of you are going through that phase right now, and when you find your passion, that's how you are creating one more thread in the fabric of the 5D time continuum. So your contribution is finding what excites you. Isn't that the perfect equation? You have to find what excites you the most to contribute to 5D. So it's a win-win for everybody.
I love that. Did you want to say anything more about the 2022 to 2032
No,
period?
we'll keep decoding more of this download, because we were given a zip file in Mount Shasta, and it's so huge that today was just like a fragment of that was decoded. So over the next few weeks, we'll be having a lot of interesting information come forth.
Perfect. So we can go out for dinner then.
Yes.
I'm actually hungry. Yeah, this was super unplanned, super spontaneous. I love these lives, you guys. I hope that was great Friday evening. There was a nice little chat. I feel like the energy just came through right when we were getting in.
Yeah, and right now I wanted to go live because we're both in this fresh energy, and you can feel it in the video. And that's the energy download we got in Telos. So we're sending that love to you guys as well.
Awesome, you guys.
We love you guys.
We love you.
Take care. Have
Keep
an amazing
shining.
weekend.
We'll see you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.